The complete history of Caterpillar, the company that built the world. Before Caterpillar became a name stamped across yellow machines on building sites, mines, farms, quarries, forests, roads, deserts and mountains. Before its bulldozers pushed earth for highways, before its excavators tore into rock, before its mining trucks carried impossible loads, before its engines powered machines across the world, there was a problem. How do you move heavy equipment across soft ground? How do you farm land that sinks beneath wheels? How do you build a machine strong enough to work where ordinary vehicles fail? At the beginning of the 20th century, the world was changing. Cities were growing, farms were expanding, roads, railways, dams, mines, ports, factories and construction sites were reshaping the land. But the machines of the age still had limits. Wheels could sink, steam tractors were heavy, mud could stop progress. A field could trap a machine. A soft road could defeat an engine. And in California, one inventor looked at that problem and helped create a machine that would change the future of work. His name was Benjamin Holt. The solution was not speed, it was not beauty, it was not comfort, it was traction, tracks, a machine that could spread its weight across the ground and keep moving where wheels could not. People said it crawled like a caterpillar. And from that description came one of the most powerful industrial names in history, Caterpillar. This is the complete history of Caterpillar, the company that built the world. Chapter 1. The world before Caterpillar. To understand Caterpillar, you have to understand the world before modern heavy equipment. Today, when people see a road, a housing estate, a mine, a quarry, a farm, or a building site, it is easy to forget what came before. Every flat surface had to be shaped. Every road had to be cut. Every foundation had to be dug. Every mine had to be opened. Every field had to be worked. Every dam, port, bridge and airport had to begin with earth being moved. Before machines, much of that work was done by people and animals. Horses pulled ploughs, men swung picks, workers loaded carts. Steam engines helped, but they were often huge, heavy, and limited by the ground beneath them. A machine could have power and still be useless if it could not move. That was the great challenge. The early industrial world needed horsepower, but it also needed traction. It needed machines that could work in mud, sand, fields, and rough ground. It needed machines that could turn human ambition into physical change. This was the world Caterpillar was born into. Not a world of polished yellow machines, a world of mud, weight, steam, iron, noise, and work. Chapter 2. Benjamin Holt and the problem of traction. Benjamin Holt came from a family involved in manufacturing and machinery. In the late 19th century, farming was becoming more mechanized, but machines still had to deal with the land itself. A wheeled tractor could pull, but on soft ground, wheels could sink. The heavier the machine became, the worse the problem became. More power did not always solve it. Sometimes more power only meant a heavier machine stuck more deeply in the mud. Holt and others experimented with ways to spread machine weight across a wider surface. Instead of relying on wheels alone, a machine could move on continuous tracks. The idea was powerful because it changed the relationship between machine and ground. The machine no longer pressed down through small contact patches. It spread itself out. It crawled forward, slowly, steadily, forcefully. This was not elegant engineering in the way an aircraft or sports car might be elegant. It was practical engineering. It solved a real problem. And that kind of solution can change the world. Chapter 3. The Caterpillar name. The Caterpillar name did not begin as a corporate branding exercise. It came from the way Holt's track-type tractor moved. As the tracked machine crawled across the ground, people described its motion as caterpillar-like. The name stuck because it was simple, visual, and unforgettable. A caterpillar is not fast, it is not graceful, but it grips. It moves steadily. It crosses surfaces in a way that looks almost impossible for its size. That image suited the machine perfectly. The tracked tractor could work where wheels struggled. It could cross soft fields. It could pull heavy loads. It could keep moving. Eventually, Caterpillar became more than a description. It became a trademark. Then a company name. Then a global industrial symbol. A name born from movement became a name associated with power. Chapter 4. CL Best and Arrival Vision. Caterpillar's story is not only the story of Benjamin Holt, it is also the story of CL Best. Clarence Leo Best came from another important machinery family, and his company became one of Holt's major competitors. The rivalry mattered because competition pushes machines forward. Holt had the Caterpillar name and a strong reputation. Best had advanced tractor designs, dealer strength, and financial stability. Both companies were trying to solve the same basic problem. How do you build machines powerful enough, reliable enough, and practical enough for customers who depend on them every day? Farmers needed tractors that worked. Construction companies needed machines that could survive. Industrial users needed equipment that would not fail at the worst moment. The market was still developing, and no single company had all the answers. Holt and Best represented two sides of the future, and in 1925, those two sides came together. Chapter 5. The 1925 Merger. In 1925, the Holt Manufacturing Company and the CL Best Tractor Company merged to form Caterpillar Tractor Company. It was one of the most important moments in industrial equipment history. The new company combined Holt's Caterpillar trademark and manufacturing reputation with Best's designs, finances, and dealer network. It was not simply a merger of two companies, it was the creation of a new industrial force. The world needed machines that could build, farm, dig, pull, grade, and move. Caterpillar was positioned to supply them. From the beginning, the company understood that selling heavy equipment was not only about the machine itself, it was also about support. Parts, service, dealers, reliability. A machine working in a field, mine, road project, or construction site cannot wait weeks for help. Downtime costs money. A broken machine can stop an entire job. Caterpillar's dealer network became one of its greatest strengths. The machine mattered, but the support behind the machine mattered just as much. Chapter 6. The first new machines. After the merger, Caterpillar began developing new products under its own name. One of its early new machines was the Model 20 tractor, introduced in the late 1920s. The company continued refining track-type tractors and expanding its product line. These machines were built for work rather than show. They pulled, they pushed, they crawled, they leveled, they opened land. They helped mechanize jobs that had once required huge amounts of human and animal labor. For customers, the appeal was simple. A Caterpillar machine could do more work in less time. It could operate in conditions that stopped other equipment. It could turn difficult land into usable land. This was the foundation of Caterpillar's rise. Not glamour, not luxury, usefulness. The company built machines that changed what was physically possible on the ground. Chapter 7. The Great Depression. The Great Depression devastated businesses around the world. Demand fell, Banks failed, farmers struggled, construction slowed. Industrial companies faced brutal conditions. For a heavy equipment company, this was dangerous. Customers who might normally buy tractors, graders, or machinery could no longer afford them. But Caterpillar survived. Its machines remained important because agriculture, infrastructure, and public work still needed equipment. As governments turned to major projects to create jobs and rebuild confidence, machines like Caterpillar tractors and graders became part of the effort to reshape land and build infrastructure. The Depression also reinforced a lesson Caterpillar would never forget. A machine is only as valuable as the work it can keep doing during hard times. Durability mattered, efficiency mattered, support mattered. Caterpillar's identity as a practical, dependable industrial company became stronger. Chapter 8: War and the Machine Age. World War II changed the role of machinery. War is often remembered through aircraft, tanks, ships, and weapons. But wars are also won through logistics, construction, roads, airfields, ports, and repair. Armies need machines that can build as well as fight. They need bulldozers, tractors, graders, engines, generators, equipment that can prepare ground, clear obstacles, move supplies, and support operations. Caterpillar machines became part of that world. The company's equipment helped with military engineering and infrastructure work, showing again that heavy machinery was not only civilian equipment, it was strategic. A bulldozer could help build an airstrip, a tractor could move supplies, a grader could prepare roads, an engine could power equipment far from home. Industrial machines became part of global power. After the war, the same machinery that had supported military operations became central to rebuilding, development, and expansion. The world needed roads, housing, farms, mines, and infrastructure. Caterpillar was ready. Chapter 9: The Yellow Machines. Today, Caterpillar is almost impossible to imagine without yellow paint. The colour became part of the brand. A Caterpillar machine on a construction site can be recognised instantly. The yellow stands out against soil, rock, asphalt, concrete, forest, and sky. It suggests work, warning, visibility, industry. But Caterpillar machines were not always the same yellow people recognize today. The company's colors changed over time, eventually settling into the famous Caterpillar yellow identity that became known around the world. The color matters because industrial equipment is visual. People remember what they see: a yellow bulldozer pushing earth, a yellow excavator swinging over a trench, a yellow wheel loader filling a truck, a yellow mining truck towering over workers. The colour became a symbol of the machine age. When people picture construction, they often picture Caterpillar yellow. That is branding, but it is also cultural memory. Chapter 10: Building roads, dams, and cities. Caterpillar's machines became part of some of the most important physical changes of the 20th century. Road building, dam construction, housing development, mining expansion, agricultural mechanization, port construction, airport building, forestry, quarrying, energy projects. The company's equipment was not always the headline, but it was often there in the background. Before a road can carry traffic, earth has to be moved. Before a building can rise, ground has to be prepared. Before a mine can produce material, overburden has to be removed. Before a field can be productive at scale, land has to be worked. Caterpillar machines became part of those first steps. They were the machines that made other things possible. That is why the title, "The Company That Built the World," fits. Not because Caterpillar built every road or building itself, but because its machines helped create the physical foundation of the modern world. Chapter 11. The Diesel Revolution. One of Caterpillar's most important transformations was its move into diesel power. Diesel engines offered durability, torque, and fuel efficiency for heavy work. For construction, mining, farming, and industrial use, diesel power became essential. Caterpillar invested heavily in diesel technology, and that investment helped define the company's future. Diesel engines gave machines the strength and endurance needed for demanding work. They also expanded Caterpillar's business beyond complete machines. Engines became products in their own right. Caterpillar engines could power equipment, vehicles, industrial systems, generators, ships, locomotives, and more. The company was no longer only a tractor company. It was becoming an engine company, a power company, a machinery company, a global industrial supplier. The diesel engine became one of the heartbeats of modern work, and Caterpillar became one of the names most closely associated with that heartbeat. Chapter 12. The Dealer Network. One of Caterpillar's greatest advantages has always been its dealer network. Heavy equipment customers do not only buy a machine, they buy uptime, they buy service, they buy parts availability, they buy trust that when something goes wrong, someone can help. A construction company cannot afford a bulldozer sitting idle for weeks. A mine cannot afford a haul truck waiting endlessly for parts. A farmer cannot wait through the season while equipment is unusable. Caterpillar's independent dealers became essential to the brand's success. They provided local knowledge, maintenance, parts, rentals, financing, rebuilds, and customer relationships. This network helped Caterpillar become global while staying close to the customer. A machine might carry the Caterpillar name, but the dealer often carried the relationship. That combination, global brand, local support, became one of Caterpillar's strongest business advantages. Chapter 13. Mining Giants. If construction equipment made Caterpillar visible, mining equipment made it enormous. Mines operate on a scale that most people never see. Huge pits, massive shovels, drills, loaders, dozers haul roads, and trucks so large that ordinary vehicles look tiny beside them. Caterpillar became a major name in mining because mining demands exactly the qualities Caterpillar wants to represent: power, durability, productivity, service, safety, uptime. A mining truck is not just a big vehicle, it is a moving part of an industrial system where every minute matters. The loads are enormous, the environment is harsh, the economics are intense, the machines must work day after day under punishing conditions. Caterpillar's mining trucks, dozers, loaders, and support equipment became part of that world. They helped extract the raw materials used in buildings, roads, electronics, energy systems, vehicles, and countless parts of modern life. Mining is controversial because it changes landscapes and raises environmental questions. But it is also deeply connected to the materials modern society depends on. Caterpillar sits inside that tension. Its machines help build the world. They also help dig into it. Chapter 14. The Cat Brand. Over time, Caterpillar became widely known by a shorter name. Cat. 3 letters. Simple, strong, recognizable. The cat logo became one of the most powerful industrial marks in the world. It appeared on machines, engines, workwear, hats, boots, toys, signs, service trucks, and job sites. The brand became bigger than equipment. Children played with toy cat machines in sand pits. Workers wore cat boots. Construction fans recognized models by shape and sound. Collectors displayed miniature bulldozers and excavators. The company's products became part of culture. That is rare for industrial equipment. Most people do not feel emotional attachment to machinery companies, but Caterpillar managed to create a brand that felt tough, reliable, and almost heroic. A Cat machine was not just a machine, it was an image of work itself. Chapter 15, Global Expansion. As the 20th century continued, Caterpillar expanded around the world. Infrastructure projects were not limited to America. Every country needed roads, buildings, mines, energy systems, farms, and transport networks. Caterpillar machines appeared in deserts, jungles, mountains, cities, ports, forests, and remote industrial sites. The company became part of global development. That reach brought opportunity, but also complexity. Different countries had different regulations, economies, climates, and customer needs. A machine working in a Canadian winter faces different problems from one working in an Australian mine or a Middle Eastern desert. Global success required engineering flexibility, dealer support, and manufacturing scale. Caterpillar's international presence helped make it one of the defining heavy equipment companies of the modern world. Chapter 16. Crisis, Competition, and Change. No company lasts a century without facing crisis. Caterpillar has had to deal with recessions, labor disputes, global competition, fuel shocks, emissions rules, changing markets, supply chain pressures, and economic cycles. Heavy equipment is tied closely to the health of construction, mining, energy, and infrastructure. When the economy grows, machines are needed. When projects slow, demand can fall quickly. Caterpillar has had to survive those cycles again and again. It has also faced strong competition from companies like Komatsu, Volvo Construction Equipment, Hitachi, Liebherr, John Deere, JCB, and others. Competition forced Caterpillar to keep improving. Machines became more efficient, more comfortable, more electronic, more connected, more regulated. The age of simple mechanical equipment gave way to an age of sensors, software, diagnostics, telematics, emission systems, automation, and data. The modern Caterpillar machine is still steel, hydraulics, power, and weight. But it is also computers, networks, and information. Chapter 17. Autonomy and the Future of Work. The future of heavy equipment may be one of the biggest changes in Caterpillar's history. Autonomous machines are already part of mining and industrial operations. Driverless haul trucks can operate in controlled environments, moving huge loads with precision and consistency. Remote control machines can work in dangerous areas while operators remain at a safer distance. Digital systems can monitor performance, fuel use, maintenance needs, location, productivity, and operator behavior. This changes what a machine is. A bulldozer or mining truck is no longer only a machine with an operator. It can become part of a connected system, a fleet, a data network, a semi-autonomous work site. For Caterpillar, this future is both opportunity and challenge. The company that once solved the problem of traction must now solve problems of automation, emissions, energy, productivity, and safety. The machines may still be yellow, they may still move Earth, but the intelligence inside them is changing. Chapter 18. Powering the World. Caterpillar is not only about machines that move Earth, it is also about engines and power systems. Cat engines and power products are used in many industries, including construction, mining, oil and gas, marine, rail, industrial operations, and power generation. In a world increasingly dependent on reliable electricity, backup power, and industrial energy, this part of Caterpillar's business has become increasingly important. Hospitals, data centers, factories, remote sites, ships, and critical facilities all need dependable power. The future may include lower carbon fuels, electrification, hybrid systems, hydrogen batteries, and new energy solutions. But the core need is old. When work must continue, power must be reliable. Caterpillar's role in power generation connects back to its original identity: build machines that keep working when the job is difficult. Chapter 19. What Caterpillar built. Caterpillar built more than tractors. It built the machines that built other things: roads, dams, mines, farms, airports, ports, cities, pipelines, quarries, factories, housing, energy projects. It helped turn soft ground into working ground. It helped turn landscapes into infrastructure. It helped make human plans physically possible. That is the strange power of heavy equipment. Most people do not notice it once the job is finished. They drive on the road but do not think about the grader. They enter the building but do not think about the excavator. They use electricity but do not think about the mine, the generator, the engine, or the machine that moved the material. Caterpillar's work often disappears into the finished world, but without machines like these, the modern world would look very different. Chapter 20. The company that built the world. The history of Caterpillar begins with a simple problem. How do you move across ground that wheels cannot handle? From that problem came tracks. From tracks came the Caterpillar name. From the name came a company. And from that company came machines that helped reshape the world. Caterpillar's story is not quiet. It is the sound of diesel engines, hydraulics, metal tracks, rock falling into a truck bed, a blade pushing earth, a generator starting in the dark, a machine working before sunrise. It is a story of farms, roads, mines, wars, cities, workers, dealers, engineers, and machines built for places where weakness is expensive. Caterpillar is not a company built on glamour. It is built on work, the kind of work that begins before most people arrive. The kind of work that leaves behind roads, foundations, buildings, mines, and machines that keep other industries alive. More than a century after the name Caterpillar first became famous, the world is changing again. The future will demand cleaner machines, smarter machines, safer machines. Machines that can work with less fuel, less waste, and more intelligence. But the old promise remains. A machine must do the job. It must start, it must move, it must pull, push, lift, dig, carry, power, and survive. Because the modern world still depends on machines most people rarely notice, and among those machines few names are as famous as Caterpillar, the company that built the world.